Jonstealth here, and with another New World news, and today we have finally got it. We got Into the Void. The Void Gauntlet's coming out tomorrow. So happening in November 18th, 2021. So let's go read into what they have. So this, I'm going to skim out quite a few of this stuff over just because there's so much to read. There's tons of information. So, but I'll let you guys be able to pause it, and then you could also read on your own as well. So the Void Gauntlet, new enemies, balance, and bug fixes. So let's get started into this. So the spotlight is obviously the new Void Gauntlet. The new Void Gauntlet has manifested in Auditorium. Manipulate the powers of the Void to support your allies and deliver your enemies with the magical item dash support hybrid weapon. It's the first weapon to scale with both intel and focus, making it a great pairing with the lifestaff. I personally use the lifestaff and it just works perfectly. There's like nothing that really synergizes with it as much as the lifestaff. So, and other magical weapons. Adventurers will be able to process through two types of mastery trees, allowing the player to manipulate the void magic in different ways. The Annihilation tree focuses on maximizing damage at close range and revolves around the Void Blade, and summons a blade of corrosive energy. The Decay tree offers a range of healing and debuffs and revolves around the Orb of Decay, a dual phase projectile that can debuff the enemies and heal allies. With its arsenal of buffs and debuffs, the Void Gauntlet is the perfect for the group combat and can significantly bolster your allies and the expense of your enemies. So what the Orb of Decay does is it literally just shoots a straight bolt forward. It does damage, and then when it comes back, it does also, I think, damage to the enemy and also heals you. But I think it might just be I think when it comes back, I think it just heals. So you have to be hit by that orb of healing. So kind of have a cool thing right there. You can kind of see the different types of screenshots. I don't know if your character screams, but that still looks kind of cool. So there's the different types of screenshots right there. So there's some pretty cool ones, and like obviously the blade. So this one, I'm going to a little bit skim through this. So basically, new enemies, the Vulgarian Knights. So these guys start at First Light and Monarch Bluff. So literally on Monarch Bluff, you just go straight north from the city. They're just along the shore there, so just walk around the city and you'll eventually find them. And First Light as well is the same situation. Right at the city, just go north, and then there's like a little bit of a beach. They're more like kind of like north, a little bit northeast. So just go there, and that's where you're gonna find these commandos, or just like these First Knights. These guys are level 15, I would say, to 20. So yeah, that's basically. There's always there's an elite there too, so just keep that in mind. So when you're going, so yeah, basically that's the picture. So this is at First Light. This is at Monarch Bluff. So yeah, I've been to both. They're actually kind of neat, but they're a little bit too small of a camp. So but they're really cool. So world experience, added new starting zones, visual variety and improvements. Updated visuals have been added to the starting areas. So like the look is a little bit different. Corrupt and withered visuals have been amplified in farms at point of interest, so that's actually pretty nice. Ezra Fort has been updated and moved to the Amirian Temple southwest of Windsward. Run faster on roads. While running on roads, you have received a movement buff. So this movement speed is 10% while traveling on roads. The movement speed will not trigger unless the player has been running for 3 seconds and they are on the road. The movement bonus will be cancelled if a player engages in combat in any way, such as dodging, blocking, attacking, or being hit with a debuff. So that's kind of nice. The move speed bonus is not active while the player is engaged in wars, outpost rush, or duels. That's also good because you can always find ways of using things to your advantage. Added a 10% luck and gathering bonus when you flag yourself. So 10% is pretty heavy. That's already like double, like that's like my whole gear to combined almost, like just like the equipping part. That's heavy. And gathering 30%, like that is intense, you know. So that's really good if you flag yourself. Notable bug fixes. Fix issues with various AIs stuck in different cliffs on stuck in cliffs or boulders. Fix an issue with boss gating and triggering in expeditions where some doors would show as closed but they're open instead. Fix several issues with expeditions that allow players to attack enemies without getting hit or healed, or without being in an encounter. Various enemies, vitals, names, and visions have been updated in Vex. Fix various issues with missing or incorrect world collision and navigation mesh. So lots of fixes right there, which is nice. Let's go continue. Quest. Let's see. There is quite a few questing. So this is something I'm probably gonna skip over. There's just quite a bit. So let's read some of them. New PvP faction missions added. Control points. Seized control of a fort. Intercept, defeat enemy faction members and added their tiers. War camps loots, received hidden plans at the enemy war camp. So basically just more like PvPing, stuff like that. We had added several updates, quests in the main storyline to improve the player's experience with more compelling dynamic, including waves, encounters, destructible objects, and proximity nodes. So most of this is exactly the same thing on the P tier that I talked about in my previous videos. Let's see, updated the location of the survival wolf den in the first light. Notable bug fixes. I'll let you guys read the bugs. There's quite a bit to go with. So there's the bug fixes right there. World Tech. Notable bug fixes. Again, more bug fixes. Fix an issue causing a certain AI to spawn more frequently than intended. Fix various issues that occur when interacting with the journal entries are scattered across the world. Fix an issue with town projects board failing to refresh, and fix experience bonus with no longer applied when in an expedition. So quite a bit of notable fixes right there. Actually pretty big fixes, which is nice. Combat AI. This is something that I will get you, you guys can read, because there's lots to go over in the percentage and stuff like that. So I'll let you guys read all of this. Equipment load. Increase the healing of light equipment load from 20% to 30%, and increase the healing bonus for medium equipment load from 10 to 15. So there is a huge healing buff. So healing got nerfed, but it also kind of got buffed if you're wearing light gear. So if you guys find healings really bad, just stick with light gear. You know, you kind of get your 10% bonus back. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Even mediums like kind of gives you that 5% back. So that's actually kind of nice. So, you know, I think most people are going to play between these two areas most likely. So yeah. Navigation updates. That you guys can pause and just read. There's just a lot of small fixes there in that. Duels. Fix an exploit by preventing gathering while in duels, so players can no longer duel to avoid durability damage while gathering. That's actually pretty interesting. Attributes threshold bonus. Reduced damage provided by the 250 constitution from 80 to 60. That's actually kind of interesting. I didn't know that. Fix a bug that caused 250 constitution cooldown to trigger on the block hit, and fix a bug that was preventing players from dodging cancel out of attacks during an ability recover window when the constitution strength 250 strength bonus was active. So, and then some dodge. Fix an issue causing two-hander melee and life staff dodge rolls to have a smaller invulnerability window than any other weapon types. Fix an inconsistent cancel timing between dodges of different types of weapon types. fix a bug which could cause a backward dodge to result in a small teleport. That's actually kind of interesting. I think that might have happened to me once, but yeah. Fix an issue that causes players not to take damage from an AoE if they dodge into the effective AoE. Yeah, that's definitely going to happen with the Frost gauntlets and stuff like that. So, War, let's go see what they added to Wars. Structures are now immune to buffs and debuffs. That logically wouldn't affect the siege weapon and deployable structures. Disabled player collision on infernal traps due to players occasionally getting stuck in them on them. Made it so that players cannot deal damage to other players with weapon abilities through fort gates and war camp gates. So yeah, that's something kind of interesting where you can get damage through the gates. Mobs actually do that too, so that's kind of interesting. Outpost Rush reduce the power of Battle Bread by 15 from 15 damage and defense to 5% damage and defense. Reduce the damage reduction to Barnus buff from 25 to 15. Reduce the damage defense on the commander tent from 5% dash. There's all those percentages. I'm not too sure what they all mean. So there's that. Notable bug fixes. Backstab fix a bug that could cause backstab to trigger when the attacking player from the front. That's a big glitch. That's actually a lot of damage, actually. On block, fix the bug that causes some weapon mastery passive that state they trigger on block to a trigger against unblockable attacks. That's kind of interesting. Cooldown timers. Fix an issue where various passives and perks cooldown timers were being removed when swapping weapons or unequipping gear. So that's a pretty big one. For me, I had to keep hitting escape to get those timers back, so it's a little bit weird. Weapons. So these are the buffs and debuffs. So I'll just show this to you guys, and then you can just pause and read each class. So this is the Warhammer. There's that. This is the life staff, so just pause and read it. It's gonna pause right here too, because kind of clip this area right off. There you go. And then the hatchet, you can see what they're doing with the hatchet. Then the great axe. So apparently people were kind of interested in this. So pause there. And to read your spec. And the bow. Just pause it. And then you can read all about the bow. Same with the sword. And the biggest one, the life stuff. Look at that. Look at all that. Holy cow. Let's see what happens. So, and just pause it right there. And pause it right there because this kind of got taken away. And spear. Go ahead and pause. And then ice gauntlet. There's a lot on the ice gauntlet. Holy cow. Just pause it. Then and pause again because some of this was cut off. And then up here, not too much on there. Pause there. Musket is the last one. Let's pause it and read which one's the cooldowns, and let's continue. AI, general AI. So this is going to be pretty interesting. So these are the new enemies. So new enemy AI, new enemies: the Lost, the Withered Swarmancer, the Withered Beetle, the Lost Shaman, the Lost Alligator Pet, Ancient Guardian, Skeleton Mage, Corrupt Villagers, updates. So yeah, let's see. The Strong Corrupt Laborers has put down his pickaxe to pick up some weight. Now looking larger than ever, the villagers have had their attack sets reviewed and reworked to better differentiate them. So you can kind of see these are the new guys. So that's the mid. This is the summoner, I think. Um, they summon the Beatles, I think. Those guys, they get kind of like that. So that's first light, I think. So there's a few. They have more. So, but they don't. They're not showing alligator pet, but bug fixes and AI tuning. So let's see. I'm just gonna kind of skim through this. So general fixes where IS could get pushed to invalid areas, causing them to die. That happened to me. So it was kind of weird. So this was happening in like scattered mines. They were running to this brick and then they were just dying. So it's kind of weird. Fix the issue that causes health potions to regenerate threat. Yeah, that's not so good. Fix an issue where causing AIs to become irresponsive if a large quantity of players were nearby. Fix an issue that causes some object spawns by boss to not always despawn when intended. Added hit values at the feet of the brute, causing feet of all brutes enemies to ensure attacks from players hit more consistently. So there's like a hitbox. So if you're attacking its back, it would not register and it wouldn't count as a hit. So now there's a bigger hitbox, so people can actually all hit them, especially melees. So if you have like kind of like a big group, you guys can all actually hit it now. Elite affixes. Let's see. Fix an issue causing slow areas drop by a slimy modifier to fall through multi-floor buildings. That's kind of weird. And have never seen that, but that's kind of interesting. Fix an issue causing phalanx and slow auras to sometimes attach to the enemy's feet and move erratically. Fix an issue causing slicer to hit much larger than intended. Corrupt beaches. I never seen this before. Corrupt beaches. Fix an issue where the beaches could suddenly disappear mid-fight. Fix an issue that causes enemies to not despawn after the breach was completed. So, breaches. Beaches. I mean breaches. Okay, that makes sense. Outpost rush. Fix an issue where that could cause the bear to attack the wrong gate if both gates were upgraded to tier 3. That's kind of funny. Just bashing one gate. So invasion. Fix an issue that allow players to body block the Spurgin. Yeah, because he does so much damage. Reduce the damage of the invasion Spurgin by 20% across the board, which is quite a bit of a nerf, which is good. Reduce the damage of the invasion Spurgin's deals to structures by 50%. So that guy is hitting like a tank. He was just destroying stuff. But I think that might be a little bit too much. Most people are starting to get like our team was like getting it down to like 5 minutes. So I don't know if they need to really nerf it that much. It's just that people are not geared enough that are doing evasions. So I don't know if they really need to do that, but you can probably complete invasions now. Ancient Guardian. So Ancient Mage. Ancient Mage no longer is immune to stuns. So you guys can kind of read all of this. It's just basically fixes of mobs and stuff like that. So feel free to pause because there's a ton of fixing with these small mobs and whatnot. So feel free to pause at any time. Excavation, Armenian excavation, Simon Grace, adjusted Simmons affix to always be the same static effects between each spawn. Fix an issue causing him not to pause summoning minions after all the minions are killed. Foreman Nakashimiya, adjusted Nakashimiya affix to always be the same static between effects between each spawn depths. Yeah, kind of just more fixes as well. Fix with teleportation and player. So feel free to pause at any of these. There's a lot. There's Lazarus and stuff like that. So we're almost done. Arena bosses. Could feel free to stop there and read that. Economy and progression. So this will be pretty important right here. Faction changes cooldowns has been reduced to 60 days from 120, so you can change factions every 60 days. repair weight is basically 0.1. That's basically what happened there. We added a chunk of concentrated iron to the top rank of the faction shop for all factions. A chunk of concentration iron are used to craft resilient perks. So if you want not to get crit as hard, that's where you would go to your faction economy. All trade posts has been linked. Both the listing tax and purchase tax will be paid to the territory where the buy and sell orders were listed. So yeah, so you do want to start spending money in your own territory if you have it. Items listed in the sell orders that expire are returned to the settlement which they were posted. Very, very nice, because sometimes they would just be to a totally different settlement and you would have to travel all the way to the new settlement, bring it back to that settlement, and it was just a pain. Items will no longer be possible for 28 days, so the maximum days are 14. Okay, that's, I guess, okay. Reduce the durability loss from PvP by 10%. Thank you, that's good. Reduce the quantity of honey gained from parties by 50%. The amount of milk from cows by 65%. Honey trees are unaffected by this change. So, like, honestly, this is really not going to do anything. If you're trying to stock up on honey and milk, milk is a different story because cows are a little bit trickier to find, but they are located in settlements, so you can always get them. But the milk on the milk on cows is pretty tricky to find. Honey is just everywhere, so don't have to worry about that. There's like places that have tons of honey, so they're located pretty much everywhere in some places. So recommend First Light, pretty good spot. We made some changes to the volume of honey in this world is higher than our initial estimates, and the bees and the cows would be happier about this. Housing taxes are now 7 days instead of 5. No changes to costs, so the players will gain 2 days of extra housing time without an increase to their taxes, which is super big. Every 5 days was way too much money, and yeah, it was quite a bit. Progression: reduced territory standings gained from cooking, as they were a bit generous when compared to the efforts put into other crafting. Yeah, like you could literally do this pretty quickly. Updates of the Harpless Homestead Town projects now require 1 mission instead of 5. Increase the XP requirement for progressing crafting trade skills. Once players unlocked new tier recipes like iron and steel, the XP requirement to continue progress by the crafting things all at the previous tier will be significantly diminished. However, it still would take the same amount of time of efforts to progress the crafting skill if you craft the items at their highest possible tier and if you're capable of crafting it. That's a big nerf. So say, I don't know, that's almost seems the same, but I feel like they probably nerfed this a little bit. So watch out for your crafting. You should have got crafting done. I made a video about why you should be I have made a video about crafting and stuff like that, like about a few days ago, about trying to get everything ready. So whoever was watching those videos, they got ready for this. So that's a pretty big one right there. Trade skills potion craft update. We felt that some of the high tier core potions, particularly the health potion and mana potions, were a little bit too difficult to craft. So we updated the recipes to add a craft these items into the new alchemy components. So to do so, the Alka-Heist. The Alka-Heist is crafted by distilling both magical herb and throughout Altorium, and serves as a reliable and potent base for potions going forward. So the Hispo, or whatever they call it, that's basically going to be your go-to thing. Rare resources from gathering nodes. Thanks to the reports in the forums, we have found issues with rare 2, 3, and 4 nodes and resolved it. Thanks to anyone who contributed to the reports. Exclamation mark, which means they got a lot of that most likely. So they probably weren't too happy about that, but they probably already knew that problem a long time ago. The short version is that we have a couple of probabilities that we are multiplying with each result in a near zero chance of some already rare items dropping. This combination is combinated with an issue that could make it next to impossible for an item to drop if your luck value were too high. That's a shocker. Not exactly how luck should work. Which translates the luck sweet spot that you had to be to have a chance, that there's no chance of getting a drop. Yeah, finally they're fixing that. With this fix, things like fail iron, void metal, phase fiber, petrified wood should now have the appropriate chance to drop after you have reached a certain trade skill. Trade. Yeah, so I guess you need trade skill, not luck. That's kind of weird. That's interesting. This chance can be increased by the appropriate trade skill when gathering, by eating the appropriate trade skill when gathering. So any of those food items that you have that gives you X amount of luck, so say if you have 200%, 2000% luck for mining, you will definitely get these fair iron and metals like nothing, most likely. I'm kind of guessing, but whoever has those recipes should get ready to start skyrocketing. If you guys don't have that, highly recommend buying it today, because once the whole population starts seeing that, those recipes will definitely skyrocket, because that's basically the only way. Well, not the only way, but like that's a huge, they're like really implementing that now, right? So make sure you get that, because those things will probably start going up a lot more in price. Trade skill foods also enable the possibilities for these drops. Drop before you would ordinarily be able to receive them based on your trade skill level alone. So albeit at a very, very rare rate, yeah, they were dropping like crazy. Open fishing missions now require 3 wood loaves baits instead of 5. Loot rewards added several new named items as special drops from named knights found in the world. Knights that are quest targets don't have special drops. So interesting. Excuse me. Added several named items as special drops from knights found in the world. Knights that are quest targets don't have special drops. That's interesting wording right there. Added a new style of weapon that dropped from knight enemy type. Very cool. Rook defense shield now has tower shield appearance instead of kite shield appearance. Added a new set designed to participate of battles of new world events. These items are tier 5 and now capable of being legendary if they roll the 600 gear score. Interesting. There's these buttons, bugs, so I'm just going to get you guys to pause here, because there's lots. This video is already pretty long. There's lots to read right there, so just pause there. And pause right there. Just read all those. All right. So let's go on to the new thing. Sure remote updates. Players can now block company invites, groups invites, friends invites, with coin transfers, trade requests, dual requests, and chat direct messages. That is massive for all those streamers. Now they can actually play the game in peace. They don't have to be harassed by their fans all the time. They just want to play the game by themselves. They can now do that. Choose the don't disturb. We'll turn off all notifications. Incoming notifications. Added notifications to sending player to let them all know that their invites or requests are being blocked to the player activity using streamer mode. Awesome. That is great. Salvage and repair. Add a new tooltip, damage indicator, explaining how repair works. Everyone knows how to do that. Added a damage indicator to the inventory screen when players has damaged gear. Players know how to do that. Added the tutorial pop-up to better explain parts. That everyone know how to do that. Highlighted repair all button instead of repair button to make the button more clear. You can just make a bigger button. Just click repair, because repair all could be like, what if I don't want to repair all my inventory gear in my bag slots, right? That's a little bit interesting, but they had that. So notable bugs. You guys can just pause right there and just read that. Well, actually, I could just finish this. We are preventing players from locking in player-to-player trades that will result in inventory overflow. Player near the coin cap are prevented from doing trades that would cause one player to exceed the cap and therefore losing coin. Added a quest icon and highlight animations to crafting items that require for quests. Fix a bug that causes titles to be reset after each game update. Added property icons to the number of items that were missing icons in the trading post because they were glitched. Leaving a group during a war causes you to leave the war without warning. Players also no longer leave groups during war, but they can leave the war after confirming they want to do so. Fix a bug where sometimes tier of crafting and refining stations show on the map flyouts were wrong. Add a confirmation prompt when attempting to take all from that's really good, from the storage sedge to avoid accidental misclicks. So when you hit E, you get all that item. Now, when you hit E, you won't get all those items. You'll get a prompt missions to take all those items, but most likely you'll hit no, because I don't know how many times I did that. I did it like at least 50 times. So it's like E is just such an easy letter to hit. So we have now shown icons to members of your factions when they are flagged. This should help players determine if they have nearby reinforcements or significant number of numbers for PvP engagement. Upcoming war and invasion tooltips on the map will now remain closed and will not reappear when you are open the map if you close the notification until the next war or invasion. That was a little bit of a bug there. If foreign language are strung or missing, it will no longer be shown as debug strings. It will show English text instead of. So thank you for your support. We will see you in Auditorium. It is time to vanquish some Vulgarian knights. Awesome. So there's so much. This is at least, I'm betting at least 20 gigs worth of actually it's just the same amount as the PTR most likely, but I think it was like 15 gigs or something like that, if I remember correctly. But you guys we got so much from Amazon. They are working their butts off to make this game like really succeed and fixing so much stuff and giving us so much content. So this is really, really nice. Normally you don't get content this quickly, but they're definitely proving it's some cool gear too. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Like and subscribe. Also, if you dislike it, also comment below what's your favorite thing about this. It seems like a lot of good stuff. I don't know what else they could possibly really add in here, so comment below if you have something that they should add on to this patch update or whatnot. And till then, I will see you guys in the next video.